Yes guys, welcome back to the video. Excuse if it is a bit windy out on this balcony, but I just want to touch on a few different things which I believe are really important to scale reselling business to 6 figures, not just learning algorithms and listing and stuff like that, but also principles that are going to allow you to scale as a business to 6 figures if you are selling on Vinted, Depop and eBay. This is cross applicable. So overall, I want to touch on scaling, but there's 3 different things that go into scaling, 3 pillars. That's time, space and money. So I'm going to touch on those 3 and tips and tricks at the end as well, because it's all important stuff. So first I want to touch on time. And one of the best ways I found to free up time was by delegating. You're not going to get this straight away, but I would just say as you start, if you've got friends or family or brothers, sisters and things like that, that you can get involved. Like I used to start with my brother just helping me pack orders, and like for example my nan does all my washing and stuff like that. It's very low maintenance, very low cost as well, but it frees up a lot of time, me chucking stuff in the washer, drying them if you've got parents that can do that. I obviously pay for that, but it just gets you used to as well managing other people and not just yourself. So putting the focus onto someone else in the business and learning how to manage them, to boss them, I guess you could say, managing them, telling them what to do, teaching them how to run the business or run aspects of the business, because that's all part of employment, and that's one thing I was really scared to do. And when I was learning about it in business in school, I was like, managing seems so difficult, you know, having someone else working for you, what if they mess you around, what if they don't know what to do? So getting used to telling them how to do certain things, and ultimately if you want to scale, you're going to have to be more than a one-man operation. Allows you to manage like a micro operation then as well, so get used to managing like a mini company essentially. I was reading Stephen Bartlett's book, and he said a company is a group of people, and obviously that goes back onto scaling then. You can't do everything on your own. If you want to scale, you're going to have to delegate time elsewhere. So ultimately delegating frees up time within the business. So start small, start with, you know, help getting your brother and sister or your friends to help you photograph and list or pack orders with you and stuff like that. And actually my first employee was in fact my cousin, and it's a great place to start. You've got that trust there already. Obviously that seems a little bit further ahead maybe for some of you. So next up I'm going to talk about scaling as a whole. And one thing I found to be really helpful, but also one lesson that I learned, and probably one of my biggest, is keep my outgoings low. You don't need to chase those vanity metrics, those big warehouses and stuff like that. Like keep your costs as low as possible. I promise you it'll be worth it. I wanted a unit, my first unit within a year of reselling. I ended up going into a spare bedroom, and it was so good because it allowed me to save about £500 to £600 per month on a warehouse. And now I'm in a place where I'm able to buy a bigger warehouse. I got the cash coming in for that. So it's important to just take it step by step, and also look at the people around you that might have warehouses. All of my warehouses have come from family, friends, or like mutual friends from people in my family. It allowed me to get into a lease that wasn't extremely long term, because that is one of the biggest risks about getting a unit, is long term leases, especially if you're trying to grow, you're trying to scale. The last thing you want to do is tie yourself into a 3-year lease. It's just not ideal. And just one practical step before buying a warehouse, have at least 6 months rent saved up in the bank before you look at moving out into a bigger space. Again, I know not all of you are in that position yet, so we're going to touch on some more in the now things that a lot of you guys can practice, a lot of things you can incorporate into your business right now as a reseller, and are really important as well. So the formula that helped me the most in terms of cash flow was to reinvest 60 to 70% of your profit. So if you sold something for if you made £100 profit in a week, reinvest 60 to 70 pound of that. Obviously I know a lot of you probably making more than £100 a week, but just as a rule of thumb, for every £100 reinvest 60 to 70 pound of that. So for £1,000, 600 to 700, and then allow 15 to 25% for cash flow then. So the other, you know, 30 to 40 or 20 to 30, sorry, pound, then just retain that, keep that there, which is what's going to allow you to have retained earnings to look at, you know, units and stuff like that, or to pay yourself and have savings and stuff. So overall, as a company and as a person as well, I always like to keep 60% profit in the business, take out, you know, 10 to 20% for outgoings, for expenses, and then also 10% then if I want to pay myself. But I just, you normally pay myself whatever is needed every month, or speak to my accountant, he'll just take dividends and out. But all that kind of stuff is, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not a financial advisor, so. And you can keep track of your cash flow using a cash flow forecast tool. I tell you what, for this video, I'm going to drop a free cash flow forecast tool in my Instagram DM. So if you comment the word cash flow, I'll send you a cash flow forecast for you to use. It's really helpful. And then if you want me to go through that with you, then you can join my reselling coaching group in the first line of the description. And if you want to learn more about it, then go and message me on Instagram, the word learn. I'll give you a bit more information. But yeah, I'm coaching resellers, helping them take their businesses from 0 to 10K a month. We've seen so many people do it already, and the group is growing. We've got over 60 members now. We just did our first in-person event. Go watch that video up here, wherever it is. It's a really good video, and I hope you do all enjoy that video as well. And yeah, if you are interested in getting into reselling, or you want to know more, then go on ahead and indeed click that first link in the description and get yourself in the group. And now one of the more practical ones as well is systemization, and probably one of the most important. Business involves systems in every aspect. So for reselling, it sounds crazy we've been talking about systems. It's still a real business, and if you want to stop doing reactive selling and do strategic selling, then you need to look at systems. So systems can be anything from cross-listing to distribution and packaging, or photographing and listing, washing things. So first of all, systems, I would have a cross-lister. That's one of those things that you can delegate again, or essentially pass on to someone else or something else, and it makes your life a lot easier. It can free up a lot of time. It's delegation. So yeah, that could be just getting a cross-lister. So the one I use at the moment is Crosslist X, I think, or crosslist.com. So good. I've listed over 250 items on the eBay in the last week. I did 100 in one day, and I've just done like 10 here and there while I've been in Monaco. So using that tool's really helped me. You just import them. eBay allows you, and I think Depop might allow you, I'm not sure, but eBay allows you to use third party. Vinted doesn't, so be very, very careful. That's one thing we've learned in the group, and we've got a lot of information on, is what is and isn't allowed on Vinted, and to stop you making those mistakes. We've had a few people come to us that have been banned, and we've managed to resolve it with them, but not everyone is going to be fortunate enough to be in that situation. Sometimes you do end up losing your accounts, and it's very frustrating. I lost my Depop for over a year. But again, there's different things we can do to help you get back into it. And I actually got back into mine a few weeks ago. But yeah, cross-list are really good. Import your listings, cross-list on multiple platforms, delist them when they sell. Another thing that people do is pre-packaging your items. So I know Resells with MMP, Morgan Pennell does it. He packages his items. I know a few guys in the group are doing it now as well. Pre-packaging them, labeling them so you know what items what, and then just simply chucking the label on them, sending them out. It's really clever. It probably does help. You've got obviously a short-term bit of pain, a short-term bit of work and bit of labour, but obviously it's worth it for the long term. But if you don't want to take that step just yet, then label printers are really good. You can pick some up on Facebook Marketplace. I think mine was like £40. It was a Munbin, really good. I would suggest getting a Bluetooth one. It just makes your life so much easier. The amount of times I'd go to the unit, print off labels, and I'd forget my adapter, my USB to MacBook adapter or whatever. So just get yourself a label printer on Facebook, eBay, whatever it is. Munbin and Brother are really good ones. I think it's Brother, or they're the sewing machines, or do they do both? I don't know. And then Google Sheets to track all your profit and sales, your inventory management. So I like to do it I used to do it in deliveries. So 50 Ralph, 50 Tommy Knits, 50 Levi's jeans, and then just to kind of separate it all, and then do the sale date. That's really important because that can help you work out your sell-through rate, which is really important. Obviously your profit, your gross revenue, your revenue, then your gross profit, and then if you want to do your net profit, I did a outgoings tracker the other day, so I got all my outgoings in one sheet, so I know exactly how much my outgoings are. I know what I need to sell every month to even break even or to even cover my net expenses. So really important to do stuff like that. And then also it allows you to look at sales trends as well. So by looking at the date, in a year's time, you could look back at winter and go, I sold 54 pairs of Levi's in the month of December compared to 30 in the month of January. So I know to get them in around November time, list them on December to optimize my chance of selling those. Batch listing really helps, and one little trick I've got in a moment which I kind of discovered and was chatting to one of the boys about, and it really helped them. But yeah, batch listing. So for example, if you're on a holiday or you've got time away, is instead of photographing 10 items before you go and then listing them while you're away, or if you have a busy schedule, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday free, but then you haven't got Thursday, Friday, instead of photographing Monday, Tuesday and listing Monday, Tuesday, photograph everything you can on those 2 or 3 days and then list them while you're busy or while you're away. Like I can't photograph here, but I can list here. Whereas if I was to just photograph the 10 items, list them at home, then I'm left with nothing to do here. To do what you can't do in the now, do it before, and then do what you can do then, save that for then. It just allows you to get work done, optimize your time as well, and obviously just keep the business running as well while you're away, because Vinted and Depop and eBay love consistency. They love consistency in listings. I didn't see many sales on my eBay in the first week, and yesterday I had like 7 or 8 sales, about 150 in revenue in the end. So yeah, it's not bad at all. That's just from eBay as well, with about 200 listings, but it took 2 weeks to kind of get to that point, and just optimizing my listings through keywords, materials, customization, all those kind of things, accents, all those things in the description. Make sure you're doing those. Slightly off topic, but in the eBay, make sure you add those and you actually see how many more searches you get. It's really important. So, and then last but not least, this is a kind of little game and a challenge that I'll put to you all, is create a little challenge for yourself when you're photographing and listing. So I always set like a little timer. So I'll set like a 1 minute time, no, more like a 10-minute timer, and go, right, I want to list 10 items or photograph 10 items in this 10 minutes. And I'll do it. And if I'm like just short or just over or whatever it is, I'll then try and beat it in the following 10 minutes. So in that hour, you end up just playing this like, this catch-up game with yourself, but also it kind of just shows bottlenecks in your business. So where are you wasting time? Where are you not maybe putting as much time into, or making the most of that time that you do have? Maybe you are getting lazy, because subconsciously we can just slow down or get a bit lethargic or check our phone every 5 minutes, and these are just smaller things, obviously just small bottlenecks or small knots in the rope that maybe aren't as important, but you know, do free up a little bit of time, and it just makes everything a lot more streamlined and smooth. All this is going to help you to get to £5,000 to £10,000 a month, and if you want to do it even quicker, like I said, then obviously just click that first link in the description. I'll be able to help you and coach you and give all the knowledge that I have. Sorry for the camera shaking, it's very windy. But yeah, like I said earlier on, just shift from reactive selling to strategic selling. Treat it as a business, not just a side hustle, if that's what you want to do, because that's when you're going to get to 5 to 10k a month. I'd say if you're doing 5 to 10k a month, it's probably not a side hustle at that point, is it? So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.